Who are you? Why are you doing this to me? So obviously he's the one that I love the most in the love triangle. Am I toxic? Hey everyone, it's Sunny. Welcome back to my channel. I didn't even know if people would want to even see this video because love triangles get like such a bad rep, and like trust me, I don't love a sucky love triangle as much as the next guy. But actually, whenever I pitched this video, like so many of you guys were like, yes, we want this video. So here it is finally. Sorry it's taken such a long time. I just wanted to make sure that it was like the best that it could be because love triangles, listen. Okay, here's my thing about love triangles. The sucky love triangles, I don't like them either. Stale, like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? But if a love triangle is like good, I kind of stand, like I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, like I'm kind of on board. And so these books today are the rare few where I absolutely love the love triangle. I'm not ashamed of that, and you shouldn't either. So yeah, just to make things clear, I feel like for me, what makes a love triangle sucky is that one of the characters is like clearly just a throwaway interest purely for the sake of it being a triangle. He's literally just there to manipulate, mansplain, male way. So those are the ones that I don't love. But the ones that I do love are the ones where like both love interests are like genuinely viable. I feel like you have to like all three of the people in the love triangle just as characters themselves before they're even in the love triangle. Like I don't want your sole purpose to simply be to be part of the triangle. You know, the first book series that I will talk about is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The love triangle. Oh my gosh, it's a love triangle between brothers. Stop, literally my favorite trope. Oh, The Inheritance Game. Literally what arrived. I have a Pinterest board dedicated to the Hawthorne brothers. Absolutely in love with them. Our main character is a girl named Avery. She's like really on the struggle bus, like her and her sister. And then she discovers she is actually inheriting this like millionaire's entire fortune, but she has like literally no connection to this guy whatsoever. She's like, who is he? Like, why am I in his will? And all of his family members are also like, who's this random girl who's in his will? We all thought that we were gonna get a chunk of the money. Everyone got snubbed because it all went to Avery. The only condition is that she has to go and live in the Hawthorne Manor for 1 year in order to gain her inheritance with all the other like snubbed family members who like all want her gone, and that includes his 4 grandsons, the Hawthorne Stop. This love triangle is between Avery and 2 of the grandsons in particular, Jameson and Grayson. Yes, I know their first names are last names. There's a reason for that. It's not just because they're white, although that is a reason. Grayson, mother effing Hawthorne, I swear to God. The reason that I like this love triangle is because both of them are like substantially different personalities. Like they're complete opposites from each other. Jameson is like super flirty, risk-taking, kind of unhinged, kind of chaotic. You're kind of solving a mystery about why Avery was chosen and like figure out the connections and all these puzzles and riddles. Jameson is like super into all that. He's like very much like the high functioning, yes, this is the riddle, this is the puzzle, we're inside a massive game. He's a flirt but has his moments of being serious, lighthearted, humorous, but all that is a defense mechanism because him and his brother have both gone through massive trauma that you discover later on. And yeah, literally when she first meets him, he's like the Hawthorne brother who's like nowhere to be found until late one night randomly there's like this drunk man shirtless in a tree and she's like, hello, and it's Jameson. They spark up a friendship. I would say they probably spend the most time together in the book, her and Jameson, because they're like solving that puzzle together, and he's like obviously a flirt and he's hot, so obviously Avery's like, oh, what is happening? And then we cut to Grayson, who is the one that I like in the love triangle. Yes, there is a right answer to this love triangle. It's Grayson Hawthorne, in my personal unbiased opinion. And he is like the complete opposite of Jameson. He's like really stone cold, by the book, is not buying into like all these puzzles and riddles, super closed off, doesn't let anyone know what he's feeling. He's such a big question mark, hates Avery, or like acts like he hates Avery. But then it's like those moments where like kind of crack through the like the cold hard exterior. He like lets it slip sometimes that he actually does care about Avery, and it's like the best thing ever. Like the soft moments where Avery's like, what the heck just happened? Was that him? Did that actually happen? I feel like I made that up. I feel like I imagined that, but no. No, not at all. He's just giving like the biggest I hate everybody but you, I'm closed off to everybody. Yeah. And the brother relationship in this is that they don't like each other. They have like a history together that you learn about, and it just stirs the pot, and I love watching the pot be stirred. Let me just say that. Okay, so that was The Inheritance Games. The next book is actually another Jennifer Lynn Barnes book that I didn't know existed. She has like a backlist series that I kind of want to gatekeep actually, but I guess not now. Anyway, it's the Natural series, and I literally just read this series. I was hoping that I would get another just fun, fresh, funky, quirky love triangle from Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and it delivered. It's the exact same flavor as the Inheritance Games love triangle, which is everything that I could have ever wanted. Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. This love triangle walked so the Inheritance Games could run. If you love Criminal Minds, like, you will love the Naturals, because I love Criminal Minds. I watch it for the plot, and the plot is Matthew Ray Gubler. We follow our main character, Cassie, and she's recruited by the FBI into this program that recruits naturals, and they're basically like kids who just have a natural instinct for something related to like forensics or true crime. So for example, she's like a natural at profiling, like looking at behavior, patterns, environment, that kind of stuff, to profile like the unsub. There she gets into a little bit of a love triangle with two of the other naturals who are there, Michael and Dean. Stop. I think that I'm just gonna PSA and just let you all know that when I searched up the fan casting for this book series, it was such a holy trinity. It was Sadie Sink, happy Sadie month, Louis Partridge as Michael, and Rudy Poncal as Dean. I posted that on my Instagram story. I was like, oh my gosh, reading a book and figuring out that the fan cast is Rudy Poncal. Oh my god. Everybody DM'd me and they're like, what book is this? And I'm so sorry, I've been gatekeeping because I wanted to film this video. Anyway, Dean is also a natural profiler, and then Michael, he's a natural like reading emotions on your face. You can't hide anything from him. Michael is very much like the Jameson personality. He's like the more flirtatious one, and he's like very clearly pursuing Cassie, and everybody knows that. Not shy, more of the outgoing one. It's kind of like the first friend that she makes there. Dean, on the other hand, like, it's so clear who I'm like partial to and what kind of characters I'm partial to. I'm such a simple girl. Dean is like the mystery. He is like the question mark, and of course he's the one that I like the most because it's giving Grace and Hawthorne. Like literally when they first meet, he's like, oh, nice to meet you. And then the girl who's like really good at telling lies, she's like, you're lying. T. And Cass is obviously like, oh my gosh, why does he hate me? But no, it's because he actually hates the program. He was actually the first natural who was recruited when he was like 12 years old. He's like the reason that this program was constructed. And it's just like, ooh, there's just so much to unpack. He has that jaded, like cold hard exterior. It pretends that he doesn't care about anybody, super closed off, angry all the time for no reason. But then he has his moments of like kind of slipping and like having those soft moments with Cassie. And she's like, wait, what? Who are you? Why are you doing this to me? So obviously he's the one that I love the most in the love triangle. Am I toxic? The next book is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This one, I actually really like this love triangle because I just like the concept. It's such a cool concept. We follow a princess named Leah, and she is supposed to be betrothed to like this prince from like a neighboring kingdom, but she like doesn't want that life for herself, so she ends up running away with her handmaiden in like the middle of the night, completely constructs a new identity in like this random village. So we get her POV, but then we also get alternating POVs between these two men. It never tells us what their name is, what they look like, or anything like that. We just know that one of them is the prince that she was supposed to marry, and one of them is an assassin who was sent by another kingdom to go assassinate the princess. In Leah's POV, we meet these two men who come to this village at the same time, but one of them is the prince, one of them is the assassin, and we don't know which is which. Their names are Rafe and Caden. They are both extremely different aesthetics. You already know that I'm gonna love the assassin, okay? Are we surprised? Of course I love the assassin. Are you kidding me? A boring prince. You guys know how I feel about a boring prince. Anyway, the reveal happened earlier on in the book. Like, it's not like the very last revelation. There's like substantial amount of events that happen afterwards of Leah then interacting with both these two men, knowing their identities. And my favorite thing about this book is literally after the revelation, when Leah is like kidnapped by the assassin, who I'm not gonna say who it is, but it's like so clear that the assassin actually caught feelings for Leah. Like, it wasn't just a show. He actually does have feelings for her, and he wasn't supposed to, you know what I mean? And there's like a scene where she's like literally held captive, but then he's like does like a drunk confession scene. Like, I just love that scene. Oh my gosh, my boss just sent me a gift card. That's so sweet. Everyone comment down your Tim Hortons order. I'm a Tim's girl through and through. This is why I can't live outside of Canada. Okay, the next book, Legendborn by Tracy Dion. This love triangle really got me off guard. We follow our main character. She's a girl named Bree, and she ends up going to like this university campus. She discovers like a secret society of like demon hunters. That's like my best explanation for it, but they're called Legendborn. First person that she meets is Cell. It's kind of like the wizard, super unapproachable, and like everybody in the society is also like, don't talk to him. I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the love interest, but no. She meets Nick. Oh, so nice. Such a good egg. And she develops a friendship with him. Obviously, he's the first friend that she makes there. The friendship turns into like a more than friends, and it's actually really, really sweet. I love the relationship. If I met Nick, I would fall in love with him too. But then here's what got me off guard. That is what gets me. Right at the end of the book almost, she ends up having to spend a lot more time with Cell. Oh my gosh, I love this man so much. Like, it was really his time to shine. My loyalty was wavering. What a surprise. Obviously, just Sunny being Sunny, the slow burn, dark haired, freaking anyway, learn a little bit more about him, and he opens up a little bit to Bree, like more than he has to like anyone else. Just learning more about his past and like his childhood. That is what gets. The next book series, I feel like this book series like ruins all love triangles for me because nothing could like ever compare to this. That is the Infernal Devices by 𝐤𝐻𝐤. Of course, I can't go a video about love triangles without talking about this book series. Are you kidding me? The love triangle to end all love triangles. Both of them, I'm in love with both of them. Like, I literally can't. Like, this is, of course, the famous love triangle between Tessa, Will, and Jem. I still think about this love triangle to this day. It haunts me. To this day, it makes me act up. If you don't know, this is part of the 𝐤𝐻𝐤 Shadowhunters universe. I feel like everybody's familiar with it. This book series is the one that takes place in like Victorian London. And we follow our main character named Tessa. And she has just come to London to like find her brother who went missing. And then she like meets all the Shadowhunters and ends up staying at the Institute. And at the Institute, she meets Will and Jem. And Will and Jem are like pretty much brothers. They're not actually brothers, but like they grew up together, like closer than brothers. No one in the world is gonna come before each other to them. You know what I mean? I think that is what makes this love triangle work so well. All of them just love each other so much. But I swear to God that Will and Jem, they like love each other the most. Like, you just can't explain it and do it justice. But obviously, both of them fall in love with Tessa, and Tessa falls in love with like both of them, but both of them are super, super different. Jem is like the soft-spoken, very sweet. He literally plays the violin. Kindest soul ever. Everybody's like, Jem is too good. And then the complete opposite is Will. Will is like the dark-haired, sarcastic, pretty boy. I hate everybody but you, like to the very max. He and Tessa both have such a passion for like reading and books, and he's like so kind and so good to Tessa, and they get along so well only when it's just the two of them. Sometimes everywhere else, like he's like rude and stuck up, but there's like a reason for that, and he actually doesn't want to act that way, and he's actually like the sweetest guy ever, and I just love him so much. Like I said, I have a whole playlist just dedicated to him. Here's a dedication on my photo wall. I feel like I definitely have my preference. I will always be a Wessa shipper, but I like love Jessa too. Like you have to read the series in order to like understand what I mean. This is a trilogy. The ending to the second book, like I literally haven't felt pain like that like ever. Like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. It's like the best and the worst thing that's ever happened to me. The last book that I'm gonna talk about is another favorite. I feel like I literally can't go any video without talking about like my top 5 favorite books. I feel like I recommend them in every single video ever, but it's not my fault that they're like such good books to recommend. And that is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This one is also a little bit of a change to like your typical love triangle. There's a romantic pairing that happens, and then a romantic period that happens afterwards, and the overlap between those two, it's like not a long amount of time. It takes place in a small town called Henrietta. Our main character is a girl named Blue, and her family is like a family of psychic. And then we have the Raven Boys, which is like a friend group of these boys who go to like this private school. But the main guy, 𝐤𝐬𝐧𝐤, so obsessed with finding, it's like a legend of like the sleeping Welsh king or something obscure like that. And him and his boys are like all trying to like uncover this. Blue ends up meeting these Raven Boys, and she ends up being like roped into their friend group. There's a brief love triangle between her, 𝐤𝐬𝐧𝐤, and one of the other boys named Adam. At first, Blue doesn't like 𝐤𝐬𝐧𝐤, kind of get off on the wrong foot, but she takes an interest in Adam, and they develop a connection. Because Adam is the only one of the boys who aren't rich. Later, kind of like are like, oh, are we catching feelings for each other? And then they actually are together for a little bit. But then Blue ends up spending a lot of time with 𝐤𝐬𝐧𝐤, and she starts having a friendship. I don't know, they kind of have like this unexplainable connection. They're just compatible. Like, I don't really know how else to explain it. Oh, it's so subtle. I think that's what I love about it. It's like super, super subtle. There'll be like just some moments where like Blue and 𝐤𝐬𝐧𝐤 like leaning over a map, and Adam's thoughts were like something about seeing like her black hair next to like his brown hair stirred up something, and that feeling was jealousy. Like super subtle things like that. Blue and Adam end up like not being together. It's like very amicable, no bad blood. It was super transient, like kind of short-lived love triangle. Adam finds like another love interest, and I love that romantic pairing. I think that it was fun and sweet while it lasted. So that's the final book that I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know, I hope this video was helpful. No slander on any of these love triangles, I swear to God. Like, this is my happy place, please. That's gonna be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and follow me on all my socials. They're all linked in the description, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.